number one quality of a successful entrepreneur is this, and that is the ability to endure pain for a long period of time.
This is the process. This is the mindset shift I want you guys to make, that you do difficult things.
Because pain is actually not a hot potato. It's a traveling professor, and it knocks on everybody's door, and the wisest ones say, come in and sit down and don't leave until you've taught me what I need to know.
Rise and shine, it's espresso time.
I wake up every morning.
Espresso, keep me going.
I wake up every morning.
So let's start your day off right together. Grab your coffee and sip on today's message from Dan Lok. Also, if you want to have more confidence, check out my 254 Confidence series. It's free. The link to join is in the description below.
After you practice martial art, you develop this natural self-confidence. Not cockiness, but you develop this natural self-confidence. Many years ago, I had this conversation with my mentor, and he asked me the question, Dan, what do you think is the number one quality of an entrepreneur? And I said many things. I said talents, and I said team, and I said good idea. I said many things. He said no. He said, the number one quality of a successful entrepreneur is this, and that is the ability to endure pain for a long period of time. Didn't talk about the Ferrari, didn't talk about the big house, pain for a long period of time. Is that you? What are you willing to give up? What price are you willing to pay to accomplish success, to build your business? I could tell you, any successful entrepreneurs that I know, almost all of them experience pain for a long period of time before they accomplish even just a little bit of success.
This is why it's so important that you love what you do. Success is painful. It's a lot of work, a lot of stress, a lot of failure, a lot of rejection. But the thing that gets you through it is you love what you do. You love the process. You love the work. You love the growth. If you don't love the work you do, you will give up because it will just become too painful to keep going. So at the Whole Foods this morning, when I went to go get my bulletproof coffee, I ran into a friend of mine, an entrepreneur friend of mine who I told about my tour in December before I left. And she was super excited, and I hadn't connected with her since I got back. I went on this 3-month, 90-day, 23-city tour across the US. And it was amazing happenstance to meet her at the Whole Foods this morning. And she said, how's the tour? What was the best part of it? And I said, breaking my neck. 2/3 of the way through, I broke my neck. I broke my neck in 2 spots. I compressed my spine. I had a concussion. I had to get staples in my head, all of it. She said, breaking your neck, that's the best part of your tour? Well, that's a really positive outlook. Like, it's not just a positive outlook. It's the best. Like, it actually was the best part, because it really got the test. Like, why? This sounds crazy, but this is it. This is the process. This is the mindset shift I want you guys to make, that you do difficult things. You love difficult things. You don't want it to be easy. Easy means you're inside your comfort zone. Easy means you're not pushing up against any barriers. You don't want to be easy. Stop getting these easy, small, tiny wins that you can snack on. You do difficult things. You love taking on amazing, huge things. That's who you are. That's what you do. And this was a chance for me to grow and help cement that for myself. I'm sitting in the hospital, and I decided earlier that I was gonna go and go live every day on my tour. So every day, even though I'm in the hospital, I was still doing my Instagram live from the hospital bed. And the next day, I'm still struggling with my concussion. And even though the live stream was 5 minutes long, guys, I can't really look at the screen. The doctor said I'm not allowed to have any screen time, but I promised to be here doing my live. And so I'm gonna stay on for a couple of minutes, think, and everybody's giving love and support. And it's amazing. I wasn't able to do my Denver event because I was in the hospital. My next event, I refunded everybody the money for. And I said, I'm not gonna be able to come and do 3 hours. The doctors don't want me to do it at all. I'm gonna come for an hour or so. I've already booked the place. We've all booked our evenings off. I paid for the hotel venue. I'll refund you the money. Why don't you just come out and we'll chat and take pictures and selfies, and I'll answer questions and sign books and whatever you want to do for an hour. And it ended up being an hour and a half in Kansas City. And then my wife pulled me off. She started seeing that I was getting, a little dizzy, not able to answer the questions as quickly. And that moment was one of the greatest moments in my life. when my wife had to pull me off the stage. Said, okay guys, we're done. Evan can't go. I wanted to go, but she said, stop. That's it. We're done. It's over. I was at my physical limit. How often are you at your physical limit? How often are you actually at the limit? Not very often. The things you complain about, the things that we struggle with, you didn't get a decaf coffee, or they didn't have the right cream that you want, or that's what we complain about. Not, I'm physically at my limit. I got the test and see what I was made of. And then we continued to tour. So I did another 7 stops, and I'm sitting at the front with pillows behind me, leaning up against the wall, with an ice pack on my right shoulder for 3.5 hours. In pain the whole time. And it felt the best. It's not some just put an optimistic spin on it. It was the best. I got to push through this insanely challenging moment and come out on the other side. And even if we had to leave, even if we canceled the tour, the thing that would have canceled the tour was if my wife said, this is too much for me, because she had to do everything now. She had to drive where I was driving before. I couldn't even put my pants on by myself. She had to help me every day and every night. She did everything. We love you, Nina. She did everything. That would have cut the tour short. And if we left and we went home, I would have been okay with it, because that was her max. But we worked our way through. It's one of those things that gets put in your bio. Think about what your bio is going to be. Think about in 10 years when people are introducing you on stage. What are they going to talk about? This is something people will talk about. That I broke my neck in 2 spots and had a concussion and stayed on my tour. People don't do that. That's different. That's weird. That's wild. I was living the thing that would be my bio. The problem, the struggle that you're dealing with right now, you're living your bio. This is the thing that everybody's going to talk about in 10 years. As you break through this and then you help thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions of people come through the same pain and get out to the other side. This is what people are going to talk about. This is what you're going to be known for. This is the greatest gift of all time. And so your ability to help other people is going to be by what you have gone through. You're climbing this staircase, right? You're climbing this staircase up. Every problem you overcome, you take another step on the staircase. And then what you can do is reach down. You can reach down to somebody who's on a step or 2 below you and lift them up. But you can only lift people up to the spot that you're at. You can't help somebody get to the 5th step if you've only gone to the 2nd. You just can't. And so you decide, am I just going to stay in this world where I just help people get to step 2 and then they have to go somewhere else, and that's all I do is get people to step 2? Or do I want to help people get to step 5 and 10 and 20 and 82, right? But you can't do that unless you go down that journey. And so doing something important is painful, but it's the best. Because you don't want an easy life. You don't want to stay on step 2 for the rest of your life. You want to grow. You don't want to photocopy your days over and over and over and over and over again. And so whatever pain you're going through right now, just adopt that mindset. This is the best. This is my foundation story that I'm living right now. I'm going to break through this. I'm going to get to the other side. I'm going to make a ton of money, have a huge impact, and inspire tons of people and give them the hope that they can do it too. So how do you do that? I'm going to give you a 3-step process. Let's go. Step number 1 is, what's the most painful thing in your life right now? What's the most painful thing that you're having to endure in your life right now? What is it? It's causing you anxiety, pain, emotional pain, physical pain. What is that thing that feels like it's overwhelming and impossible? What is that one thing? Step number 2 is ask yourself, do you love the work enough to get through it? Do you love the work enough to get through it? When I broke my neck, I loved helping entrepreneurs. I wanted to stay on the tour to prove to myself that I could do it, but also meeting entrepreneurs is healing. Like being with you guys, this work, all of it, the work I do heals me, gives me strength, doesn't take away. I love it. But if you don't love it, I promise you life is coming for you. You're gonna get hit so many times. And if you don't love it, you're not gonna get off the mat the first time you get knocked down. And so this thing that's impossible for you, that seems overwhelming and frustrating, do you love the work enough to chase it down and get through it? If you don't, if it's just you're chasing some trend, some hot opportunity, then get out immediately, ASAP. You're a genius. You shouldn't be doing this. You got something much bigger in store for your life. But if you do, it's like, this is a thing. I just haven't figured out how yet. This is the thing. I love it. You have to drive through. And then step number 3 is, who will you help once you conquer it? Once you get on the other side, remind yourself of who you're going to help. How many people will you help with your story, with your efforts, with your initiative, of what you have been through, what you then overcame, what you are about to conquer, that thing? Who are you going to help? And make it inspiring, make it powerful, make it hit you in the heart, because humans are built to serve. You are built to serve. You are powerful. You're going to change the world. You're going to have a big impact on a lot of people, but only if you get through this thing that's in front of you right now. Now, I've got a really special bonus clip that I think you're going to enjoy, but before that, question of the day, I want to know, what is that big, painful thing in your life right now? Let me know in the comments below.
I started Google AdWords in 2001. Okay, I got lucky. I just stumbled, and I was one of the first people to ever use online advertising. I was in, I think, the second month Google AdWords launched. Whoa. And there was no YouTube videos. There was no Perry Marshall books. There was nothing. You just kind of wasted money to learn. Now, we're the most spoiled generation. Everything, this computer on this phone, iPhone 7, is more powerful than the first rocket that put man on the moon. That cost billions of dollars. Now we get that for under $1,000. And people are still like, I'm lost. Yes, you're lost. Sit down and then open up Safari and go, how to do Google Ads. And you're gonna come up, let's see what I come up with. AdWords, they have their own tutorial. WordStream, Jumpify, you got some paid stuff. Then you have some free stuff on HubSpot. If you sit in a chair, Charlie Munger calls it assiduity. Put your ass in a chair. Sit there and focus without being, you know, the average American right now, the average person in the world, our attention span has dropped to 5 seconds. The sad news is the average goldfish has 6 seconds. We're now competing with goldfish, and the goldfish are winning. So if you don't have assiduity to sit down, read, there is no solution for you. You will always be poor because you'll always be beat by somebody who's willing to sit in the chair.
Is there a way for people to build that discipline?
Yes, pain. And that's why I'm not a big believer in delusion. You know, you asked me, one of the rewiring things we have to do in this world, I'll tell you one. You ever heard this myth? Everything happens for a reason, so just accept it. Well, there's kind of truth to that. If I jump off a building and break my legs, yes, everything happened for a reason. The reason was gravity. Like, that's why you break your legs, and physics. Legs brittle, concrete not brittle. So, but people interpret everything happens for a reason, be like, well, I was meant to learn from that thing, and then BS. Read Richard Dawkins' The Selfish Gene, one of the most important books written in the last century. He says, organisms that only learn through trial and error lose to organisms that can learn through other people's trial and error. Is anybody here, we got a little live audience, anybody here ever had to be hit by a car to learn to look both ways? I didn't. I kind of learned from just somebody telling me, big car, 2 tons, velocity, smash, dead. And I now always look both ways. So if your myth is that the only way you're gonna learn is just through massive mistakes and trials and error, you haven't read Richard Dawkins' book.
So explain though, how does pain allow somebody to get more disciplined?
Okay, so going back to that myth of when you see your life and anytime there should be pain, you go, no, 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 no. It was just how it was meant to be. No. Look yourself in the mirror sometimes and go, you know why I'm not happy? It's because I didn't listen 10 years ago and I got in the wrong career. You know I'm not happy? Because I married the wrong damn person. It wasn't meant to happen. Yes, everything happens for a reason. You made a bad choice, but it didn't have to be that way. And the second you build up pain, and this, by the way, is not my opinion. If you talk to guys like Dr. David Buss, top 10 most cited psychologist in history, okay? He's one of my main mentors. He told me, I said, do adults change? Like, we do all this self-help videos and podcasts. I said, am I wasting my time? He goes, yeah, kind of. I said, why? He said, well, after 25, it's very hard to teach old dogs new tricks. By the way, that's why I've changed. Most of my stuff targets people 18 to 25. That's why I do Snapchat and all that, because there's hope for 18 to 25-year-olds. Now, if you're over 25, before you get depressed, he told me, but I have good news for you, Ty. I said, what? He said, adults learn through massive trauma. So you will learn. You have to let in some trauma into your life. And that's rough, but no pain, no gain. Like if you are 100 pounds overweight and you want to be able to play basketball, here's my news for you. Everything happened for a reason. You got fat because you ate too much and you didn't exercise. So welcome to the gym. In the first year is going to be hell, but that pain hopefully will reprogram your brain that every time you want to eat that nasty thing, go, wait, I don't want to go through that pain again. So I think one of the myths of society is we won't let pain in. We just excuse it all away. Like, no, that was meant to happen.
So when I was 10 years old is when I first started having painful human feelings like fear and anger and unworthiness and doubt and unbelonging. But since in our culture, we only talk about the value of happy, shiny feelings, I thought there was something wrong with me. I didn't know that these were just normal human feelings that everybody had and that they had something to teach me. I thought they were something to hide or get rid of. And the amazing thing about our world is that the second you start feeling your hot loneliness, the world starts showing you easy buttons to get out of it. So do you guys remember those Staples commercials where things would get stressful and then a red easy button would pop up and you could hit it and be transported out of your pain into this stress-free place? Well, we all love easy buttons, right? We all have them. Food, booze, sex, shopping, snark, denial. Now everybody's is scroll, 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 right? The second we start feeling our hot loneliness, we're like, you know what I need to do? I need to check on that guy I knew in second grade and see how his trip to Bermuda is going. And we feel so much better, right? We're numb. But the problem is, when we transport ourselves out of our hot loneliness, we miss all of our transformation. Because everything that we need to become the people we are meant to become next is actually inside the hot loneliness of now. Right? So when we easy button out our way out, we are like caterpillars who jumped out of the cocoon right before we would have become butterflies. Because pain is actually not a hot potato. It's a traveling professor, and it knocks on everybody's door, and the wisest ones say, come in and sit down and don't leave until you've taught me what I need to know. We have it all wrong. We are afraid of pain, but we were made for pain. We need to be afraid of the easy buttons, right? Because the journey of the love warrior is to rush towards her pain and allow her pain to become her power.
Hi, this is Dan Lok. If you're a fan of Evan's work, if you want to know exactly how to model my success, I want to invite you to join me for a special online training. All you have to do is click on the link below. You can join me for absolutely no charge. So click on the link below and I will see you in class.
If you want to know how Dan Lok suggests you reinvent yourself, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
My first identity was I was basically a wannabe entrepreneur. Not a real entrepreneur, a wannabe entrepreneur.